we should be. There we go. Looks like we're live. Have a look. Where do we want to go? We have 237 Pokemon currently. Let's do a once around the zone, see if anything new has spawned in. That's a good place to start. Alright, let's have a look around. Have we had any new species here today? Hello, Nathalie. I am good. How are you doing? My day has been busy and hectic, but honestly, really turned around at the end of it today. Yeah, let me try moving this to a different area. I got a work email that has honestly real brightened up my week, which is great. It's really turned my week around. I'm having a good one. I'm still slowly plodding away at Pokopia. I have 237 species in my decks. Yeah, I had a nice weekend. What did I do this weekend? What did I do with Saturday? I watched Moulin Rouge at the weekend. It's got some problems, but it largely, I think, holds up quite well as a film. Hey, Spanglish. I did stuff during the daytime, and I don't remember what I did during the daytime. Should really tell you how it was a very relaxed weekend. It wasn't a very thinky weekend. Visually stunning film, yes. Soundtrack, and oh, hello, welcome Raiders, hello everyone. My name's Laura, I'm a variety streamer here on Twitch. We're making cozy Pokemon communities. Yes, film Moulin Rouge. The music in particular holds up really well. As someone with ADHD, the number of tracks in Moulin Rouge that are just like 6 or 7 pop culture tracks that I know playing at the same time, kind of mushed into one. Great for the dopamine-seeking brain. It's a very fast-paced film. It keeps its pace up very well. What else did we do at the weekend? We binged through all of Season 2 of Fiona and Cake. We watched through the live-action One Piece, Season 2 of that. That's pretty fantastic. Very good casting yet again for Season 2. We played through the point-and-click adventure game I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Which is pretty... I was gonna say pretty chill. It's, there's horrifying terrors involved, but, like, the fun kind of horrifying terrors. Hey, Gumba Master. Hey, fuck me. Gumba Master says, I'm still over the fact that NetEase pulled the funding for the Not Like a Dragon game. It sucks. I know people were excited for it. Part of me does go... The fact that everyone's referring to it as the Not Like a Dragon game, probably not helping for its marketability. It's Yakuza without the silly fun stuff that kind of gives Yakuza its personality. It was gonna be a hard sell to a specific audience, and it sucks that it feels like NetEase didn't see the audience being big enough for both. All movies should go back to being 90 minutes long. I mean, agreed. A good, snappy, well-paced 90-minute film is a wonderful thing. I love a good 90-minute film that just moves at a solid pace and wastes no time. Echo says, yes, that famous cozy game, I have no mouth and I must scream. Yeah. The game in which, like, you spend part of the game playing as a Jewish person working for the Nazis who, like, worked against his own self-interest with the leopards eating faces party mentality. Part of it is play as a suicidal man, given many opportunities to kill himself and having to resist the urge to do so. You play part of the game playing as a man surgically transformed into an ape, trying to resist the urge to turn to violence. It's, I have no mouth and I must scream sure is a piece of art. It sure is a piece of art that exists. Okay, I'm just doing my once around for any new Pokemon spawns in any of these areas, and then I'm gonna get making my habitats. Oh, I watched the new episode of The Amazing Digital Circus. Speaking of things inspired by I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. That show sure has slowly grown its way into being quite an honourable take on the I Have No Mouth sentiment. I didn't know that I needed I have no mouth, but I must scream, but involving a musical number from a singing pair of teeth in a tuxedo. But I did need that, and I'm very glad it exists. Yeah, new Digital Circus episode 8 went up on Friday. It was inevitable it was going to have to reach the point that it reached. There was so much very juicy stuff to dig into in that episode. Okay, I'm gonna look over one more area. Anything in this patch of grass wiggling? No. Oh, I've been very much enjoying it. As much as it is occasionally just silly gaha goofs, there have been some genuinely very moving and very effective bits, very moving scenes and some very effective horror in that. I'm gonna put it out there, I still think by the end of the hour-long finale we're getting in June that, I am big on the Jax is trans train. I genuinely think that's where we're going with Jax. Alright, let's have a look around my pallet town. Any new spawns? Yes, Echo says, the Amazing Digital Circus is very good at being like, tee-hee-hee, ho-ho-ho, emotional trauma. Yes, yes. Yes, it is. Okay, nothing new. I'm gonna need more Pokemetal and Rare Pokemetal to make some of the habitats I know I need to make. So, what do we need to make? Go right down here. I was looking at arcade machine next to punching bag. No, I was having to start looking at individual Pokemon at this point, wasn't I? Where to find them. Okay, where do I get... You're just a rare spawn and a chancy resting area, so I'm going to have to wait for there. Wait for that. Magnezone. Oh, you are what I need, eh? There's somewhere else I could get you, I don't know it yet. I don't have enough. Hey, Turkey 1899, how you doing? Okay, let's work out which Pokemon I actually can get today, because I'm getting on a bit. Grave Offering. Do these have to be lit? Okay, I have a gravestone to try and get Lantern, but it keeps... I haven't got it properly covered, so the rain keeps putting out the candle, which I think is part of why I'm not getting this spawn yet. How am I doing? I'm doing good. I have had a mildly stressful week, if I'm honest, but weekend, nice and relaxed, nice and chill. It was just me and Jane having a very cozy weekend in. We saw friends briefly for coffee over breakfast. It was lovely. And then this evening I had a good work email. The kind of work email that hopefully takes a little load off my shoulders. So I'm very excited to have received it. Yes, this is the candle I need to relight and then cover better. Do I have a fire type around? Eka says, I didn't know that work emails came in good. They do when it's... I can say this much. When it's, hey, you know this thing you already like? Would you like to be paid money to tell people that you like the thing that you like? And I'm like, well, I do like that thing. So I'd be more than happy to take your money to tell people I like that thing, because honestly, I do like that thing. That's a good variety of work email. I gotta tell them how much I want to be paid to tell people I like that thing, and then see if they say yes to the amount of money, but that is the ideal scenario, really. Come on. Charizard, I want you to light this. There we go. Yeah, you worked it out. You worked it out. NeoGet says, those are the best sponsorships. Yeah, as I've said before on here, I very, very, very rarely, if ever, do sponsored content. I've talked about this before. In terms of sponsored content I've done on this Twitch channel, there is exactly one sponsored Twitch stream I ever did, which was for Train Simulator plus Pringles. No money needed to be... You did not need to spend any money for me to get paid for that ad partnership. It's not one where I have to sell you anything. It's not one where, like, I only get paid if you buy the thing I'm shilling. I already love Train Simulator, world record holder in Train Sim. I do like Train Sim. I enjoy a Pringle every now and then. I'm not opposed to a Pringle. I was happy to be paid to play Train Simulator and play, I think, a total of 4 very dystopian, weird, surrealist adverts where Train Sim NPCs had existential crises about how their jobs were being replaced by human workers, restocking the Pringles vending machine. I was like, that's an ad sponsor I'm happy to do. Oh, Turkey, your English is great. You don't have to apologize at all. I'm having zero trouble with your English. Yeah, making money from things I already like is fine. I think other than that, the only other sponsored bit of content I've really ever done was, some of you might have seen it in the wild, no idea. Last year I did an ad for the phone company EE. In partnership with Games Radar, they were doing something called Tech for Good, or EE Tech for Good. Basically, they were making a bunch of adverts about like technology that is good, technology that EE happens to sell that is good for a purpose. I did like a 90-second ad for them about video game accessibility, talking about like accessibility settings in games and accessibility controllers. The ad there being, hey, you could buy your games console from the EE store, I guess. If that was a thing you wanted to do. That's a place that happens to sell sell those. Again, a thing where I was like, I'm happy to advertise the general concept of, for basically the same RRP, this place does sell consoles. I'm a fan of consoles. Let it not be said, I will acknowledge I enjoy a games console or two. You know, if I can get away with my ad content being of that variety, where I'm like, that's the closest I've done to chilling, is yes, I enjoy games consoles and I play Train Sim. So yeah, I got a work email of, I'm gonna say, that variety today. Work emails can come in good. Oh, what am I doing next? What am I doing? So, I'm hoping this gets me a Pokemon, but... and doesn't just get put out. How do I get a Raichu? Oh, we can probably get this. Oh, I'm trying to grow a tree next to a rock, aren't I? Do I remember where I'm doing that? I'm doing that in, what's that area called? Nature's Market. Let me go see if I have a Nature's Market. I think I have one in Pallet Town. Is that what it is? Catbat made that, says, now all you have to do is get Train Sim people to sponsor a live stream if you're driving a real train. Surely there will be no complications. Genuinely, I have tried to pitch... I'm not going to say I've tried to pitch the Train Sim people on that. I've tried to pitch train companies on that. Not yet managed to get one to bite, but one of these days, yes, I'm from the UK, Turkey. I am indeed. I have some Train Sim content I'm trying to get train companies to help me make. Is this Nature's Market? Oh, Morwild, you moved in here. I don't want you to move in. Morwild, what? Why? Morwild. Maybe another time. Why are you saying maybe another time? I need you to move away from the cash register. Bye. Am I not allowed to disrupt this because it's a shop? Trade time's over. Okay, yes. Come with me. You don't work at the shop. I don't know where you live. I need to find you a home, but I need you to not be at the shop, because I'm trying to... Okay, what is this habitat called? Oh, I need to take you somewhere else so that you'll let me do this. Please tell me there's an open spot in one of these houses. Kathleen says one of my best friends drives trains. I would genuinely love to be a train driver as an actual profession. If anyone's got leads on, like, how I get into that as a job, I would very happily have that as a back pocket career option. Someday, Laura the train driver, I'd be very into. Okay, there is an empty spot in this house. Okay, Morwild, come live here. Yeah, move in there. Now, is that location a Nature's Market? If so, I can start waiting for a Raichu there. Tell me that that is a Nature's Market. Working the register. No, why is this... Why is this not a nature's market? Parish register is powered. Now, oh, who's trading here now? No. Trade time is over. That's a nature's market now. Okay. Now, will everyone stop trying to sell there while I wait for a Raichu to spawn? Okay, we're waiting for Raichu still. Pre-shaded yellow grass. At night time. There's spots where that could be happening. Let's go check. Bleak Beach. Echo, I did not see the big Starfield announcement. You tell me about it, though. I care very little about Starfield, but I do care about the things that make other people excited. So tell me about Starfield. Get me excited about it. What am I doing? I'm flying over here. Is it nighttime enough? Does it have to be a specific kind of tree for Goldbear, or is it just... Pre-shaded yellow grass. Any large tree. Early next month, they're dropping a massive update to do a Cyberpunk / No Man's Sky. It's good now overhaul thing. Ah! I mean, I like the sound of it being good. I'll take an update that does that. These class as tall trees. New story DLC and giving away a couple of quest lines from the Creation Club. Ah! I will always respect a game that goes through the effort to do a hey, we've done a big change, does this make it gooder? Okay. Need to eat. Okay, what can I look out for? Let's go. Still waiting for this danged Empoleon. Ooh! Tableside delivery card. Oh, that's not where I thought you spawned. I'm pretty sure I have one of these set up that doesn't have something in it currently. Tableside delivery card, let's check. Yeah, I very much enjoyed Steph's Pokopia review. I think that it's nice to see Steph enjoy a AAA Pokemon project. To get that much joy out of a mainstream AAA Nintendo exclusive Pokemon release. I need to be playing Slay the Spire. I'm kind of waiting for it to be a couple of updates deep to iron out its first quibbles. But I have a friend who really does not play video games, but does play a lot of Slay the Spire and now Slay the Spire 2. And part of me is very excited to start playing just so I can chat to my not gamer friend about it. Okay, tableside delivery card. Okay, we do have one of these. Doesn't have anything currently set up in it. What else we got? Oleon could show up. Pointy tree, shaded, rocky tall grass. Now, you're very rare. Rocky Ridges, we're going to check in on this. I'm going to go check in on all the locations that could spawn my remaining Pokemon, because there's so few at this point left to be going for. I have a new Bridge Command mission tomorrow. I've got a new campaign mission tomorrow. I'm very excited to head off and get to find out what's next in the big story I'm up to. Okay. I think there is one of the habitat type I need here. This is pointy tree shaded rocky tall grass. Pointy tree shaded rocky tall grass. Okay, yes, so I have one of that environment. I'm just waiting for a very rare spawn. Tree shaded fluffy flower bed. So this is large tree and skyland flowers. I have two of these in Sparkling Skylands main town. Yeah. ETH Demon? I have the benefit of there have been a lovely group of people who are fans of my work who have been like, oh, you enjoy this thing. I also go there regularly. Do you want to come along? I'll invite you along to a Bridge Command. It is very nice that I do Bridge Command on the most off-peak nights possible, and have had some very lovely fans of my work who have brought me along on campaign groups. Because yeah, doing the campaigns would not have come cheap. I'm very lucky that a couple of very lovely people were like, I would very much like to have you on the campaign I'm running. Can I invite you along? And I'm like, that is a very lovely sentiment. Also, by talking about it a lot, I have encouraged a lot of other people to go along, and Bridge Command have been very receptive to, we can recognize you brought a lot of people into giving us a go. I'm like, okay, well, thank you. Right, so this one is spawned. This one is spawned. Could have one here, tree-shaded fluffy flower bed. Another one here, both of which don't have spawns in them. I'm waiting for a rare spawn here. Echo says you are basically a de facto brand ambassador. I have had a lot of people tell me that they found Bridge Command through me, and I've been like, that's very cool. Why not mention that in a tweet mentioning the brand? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Let them know who sent you. Okay, who else could we be aiming for? These are both going to require me to finish projects I have on the go. What is the total number of Pokemon in this game? How many Pokédex Pokopia? Demon says that group is spending a lot. According to their website, a campaign session is £899. That is, but that is split between 10 to 14 people. So, like, if you do 14 people, that's... £65 a person, which means a campaign, like a full 5-session campaign, works out to about £300 for about 10 hours of live, interactive, small focus, do interactive story that they're writing for you week by week, which is £300 is nothing to sniff at, but that's also it's working at about £30 an hour for actors to be giving you like I'm living in Star Trek, which is not bad. It is very reasonable for what you get. Like, the campaigns are to give some context. There was a mission during the second campaign, the second Bridge Command campaign, Connections, where there were 4 different actors on the ship with us, and someone that we were getting video calls from, and our person back on main base we could video call if we needed to for advice. So there were a total of 6 actors committed to that 2 hours. There was at least 6 actors fully booked for that 2 hours for our group to be interacting with. You certainly get your effort's worth out of it. But yes, I will certainly not ignore the fact that there was someone out there that was willing to go, I'll chuck £300 on if you want to come join our group. I was like, that's a very lovely offer. That means I get to go do a big story. And the way they justified it, the person that paid for me to come along with them I'll talk about the first campaign lot. The person who invited me on the first campaign basically said, I will get to hear you make content about Bridge Command, and I enjoy hearing you talk about Bridge Command. So if I spend money for you to get to come to Bridge Command, and then you talk about going to Bridge Command, I get more Bridge Command content to listen to. I was like, that works out for me. Pokopia, how many are in the decks? That's what I'm trying to find out. 300 in total. Okay, what am I missing? Gotta get all Pokemon. Okay, we're gonna work this out. We're gonna work this out. What do I have? What am I missing? Let's go all the way up to the top. There must be some evolutionary lines I'm missing entirely. Oh, Pidgeot. That's the line. How do I get a Pidgeot? Pokopia, Pidgeot. Habitat and speciality. Luxury chirp meal. Okay, that's... Do I have the berry basket right now in my inventory? I do. Like a wooden birdhouse, yeah. Where do I find a birdhouse? Let me head back to Pallet Town and go make one of these over there where I have more space. Oh, nope, don't drop the berry basket. That is exactly the thing I need for this. The Keep Studio says, I tuned in to see you jump and transform, and my brain started playing, you're a kid now, you're a squid now, on repeat, which is extra weird because I've not actually played those games. Yeah, but you don't need to have played those games to know that you're a kid now, you're a squid now, it's a bit of a bop. Okay. Where do I want this bird roost? Let's go up on the hill a bit. Let's go... This could be a nice spot for this. The Keep Studios, your message has sent now. I don't know why you had the 5 minutes of trouble. I apologize. I'm glad it seems to be sorted. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to do. I was going to put my Gastrodon sign down. Let's put my sign down here. Why does that not count as... Okay, that counts as a road sign. Right. What else am I missing? Blossom, that's just a rare spawn. Parasect. We got these. Yes. Illumise? Yeah, why will you not spawn? I'm trying so hard to get you to spawn. Illumise. I don't see any obvious gaps. Oh, Driftblim. Pokopia. Driftblim. Oh, that's a cute way to get Driftblim. Can I... Can I get more of the Poke plushes currently in the store? I need an Eevee. Pikachu, Arcanine, Dragonite. I'm gonna need like 600 to work on this. Gather some sticks and make some food. Make some food. Get an Arcanine. Not yet. Let's go to Rocky Ridges. Oh, and make some food. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing at the weekend a very interesting looking film. What is it called? They Will Kill You. It's got Zazie Beetz, who I really enjoy as an actress in the lead role. She gets hired on to work as like a house cleaner at this big fancy house. Turns out, once a month, this big fancy house does ritual sacrifice murder, or the doors get locked, you're trapped inside. It looks like a very just like fun, upbeat, fight your way out of the murder house film. Not like a, you know, torture porn hostel type thing, but more of a almost Looney Tunes-esque slapstick comedy of violently murder your way to freedom out of the murder house. It looks a lot of fun. The trailer seems very amusing. It's got a couple of people from Severance in it, such as what are the performers' names? I'm so bad at who's the cast person I'm thinking of? She plays the woman who's spying from next door in season 1 of Severance. I forget her name. Patricia Arquette, that's it. There's some people in that film who I'm very much like, yeah, I could go for you in a film. Cash this in. I need an Arcanine and a Dragonite from the store. What can I do easily for 200? Make a habitat of some kind. Or does it have to be that many new habitats? It's that many unique habitats. Okay, I can't just cheap it out easy that way. Echo says, I started watching that cop show that did the crossover with Dropout the other day, partly to see what the fuss was about, and partly because cop shows are my guilty pleasure. How is it? On the scale of Brooklyn Nine-Nine to every other cop show, how is it? Something. Beautiful flowers. What am I really close to finishing? Not much in there. It's a pretty fun ride most of the time if you can get past how propaganda it is. Oh, look, I can enjoy. Okay, am I back? Okay, I should be back. Oh, refresh. Tell people to refresh if needed. I love when my internet just doesn't for a minute. Oh, what's coming out of the TV? Ghosts! Yeah, come live here in my trash pile. Oh, Incompetent Hero, thank you very much for the 44 months of sub. This is indeed Pokopian society. I don't think you broke the stream. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, as I was saying, I can enjoy a bit of propaganda every now and then. You know, Astral Chain. Absolutely love that game. You know, despite the word police being labelled on top of all of my summons. Okay. Anything that I'm really close to. Let's make a habitat. How's building been going? It's going good. I'm working on it. I'm collecting all of my new friends. It's going lovely. Is this gonna be finally? There you are, Raichu. Hell yeah, hello. I like a mystery and a whodunit, and the characters are mostly likable to have some fun, humor, and cool action. Yeah! You know, as long as you are aware of, like, yeah, I get that this is here to sort of soften the image of an American police force that is really robustly terrible. It can be fun. I have a soft spot for Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I won't pretend I don't. What was I doing? Echo says, it tries to do the confronting the social issues we don't ever address episode, and it's just like, oh, no. Yikes. What was I doing? I was going to try and make another habitat of some kind. Even if it was one I didn't particularly need, just to... That's faded. Gonna be a faff. Can I make 9 fire pits? Do I know how to make a fire pit? How do I make a fire pit? Okay, this is another side diversion now. Where do I make? You can get them from Pokeballs and Dream Islands. Okay, so I can't make that yet. Okay. What habitat will I make? Hot spring fishing spot. Do I have enough Pokemetal to make a fishing rod? If so, that'll be the final habitat. That'll give me some coins, which will let me buy the Pokédoll I need, and everything will be fine. One rare Pokemetal short. Okay, so not that. Can't make that, can't make that. Ooh. Bed, table, candle. Oh, I have a candle. Oh, that's a habitat I've not made before. I can make that. Okay. You can't ever get 2 of the same Pokemon unless you glitch something. And people have worked out glitches to get more than 1 of a legendary, but generally speaking, no. The intended gameplay flow is you get 1 of each species. Okay. This is going to be the least reasonable place to put this, but look, this is here for the purposes of I made one once. This is not permanent place for this. I need someone to light the candle. Who's around that can light a candle? Anyone? Ooh, Typhlosion. You can do it. Typhlosion, this. That's a new habitat. That'll get me some coins. Okay. Then I can get a Dragonite doll. And I'm gonna need a Pikachu doll borrowed briefly from somewhere, which is gonna be Withered Wasteland. This is gonna be to get a common spawn. Okay, that's fine. Hey, Vesperquin. I'm sorry for stealing your Pikachu. Also, Typhlosion, I didn't mean to bring you here. Good luck finding your own way home. And back to Pallet Town. Look, it's my house too. It came furnished, and Vesperquin's gonna have to be okay with the fact that occasionally I take some of my belongings back briefly. I furnished her living space, on the understanding that occasionally I might need to borrow the Pikachu. Oh, there's a Pikachu here I could have taken. I could have taken the Pikachu from literally here. Okay. So, we're looking for Eevee doll. Oh no, let's start with Arcanine. Oh. And we need the Dragonite. Pikachu. Okay, now we have Plush Central. Which could get us a Driftblim. Then what are we missing? Gumi, Sliggoo, and Goodra? How do I get a Goodra? Goodra. Oh, do I have these things? Maybe. Any of the berry bits here? No, which hopefully means I can just craft them. The berry chair is this. We can make a berry chair. Berry table should be. I'll make a berry table. Make a berry bed. No. Okay, that one's gonna take me a minute then. Can I get a Surfetched? No, Surfetched isn't there. That's not an evolution we could find. Haunter and Gengar. How do I get a Haunter? The Gengar with balloons either side. I make the Gengar box. I have at least one Gengar box already. Can I make another? How much Pokemetal do I need for a Boo in the box? Or I could make a spooky study. Do I have a spooky study? I think I have a spooky study. I might do Cloud Island. I'm tempted to do Cloud Island. We'll see. I want to do all of the single-player stuff I want to do first. Oh yeah, this is Spooky Study. No one's... Oh, Ghastly's here. Okay, I should build another house. So I can get Ghastly to move. This would be a nice spot for another house. I'm trying to do the Pokédex before I do basically anything else. I wanna have a Pokédex done. And then that can be ticked off in my brain. What house kits do I have in my pockets? Okay, I'm gonna need some iron. No. Okay, on the way there, we're gonna go check all of our places. How close am I? I am like 60. About 60 species away. I'm getting there. I'm 240 out of 300. I'm chipping away a little at a time. Nothing spawned there. Beach. Sorry, I have to sort of work thing very quickly. There we go. There we go. Right, what was I doing? I was checking if any Pokemon had spawned here. We're both looking intently here at the fishing rod, but no. No, nothing biting. I was going to Rocky Ridges to get iron ore with which to make something. I forget what was. Oh, to make a house to move Ghastly into so that Haunter can spawn. That's what I'm doing. I can remember my own multi-step process I need to do. Is the SSR needed for any of the story? I'm greatly considering scrapping it for an idea. There is what I would wait until you have had. I think there are maybe 2 Pokemon that could spawn elsewhere, but the first place that they will spawn is there. Like I would wait until Happiny and whatever the shop operating Pokemon in the SSN have both spawned before you tear it down entirely. Otherwise, you're gonna have to just... It's not that you can't do it without the SSN, you're just gonna have to find other ways to get them to spawn. Come on, give me some iron. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean about the sort of resort area. How are the Pokemon? They're doing very well. They're all rather charming. Alright, we're gonna head back to Sparkling Skylands just to do a once-over and see if any of my spawns have happened there. And then we are making a house. I'm gonna get Tinkmaster? Is that what they're called? I'm gonna get Tinkmaster while we're here to speed up this build. Like a move, that's what I'm doing. I have to remember in my head the thing I'm trying to do ultimately is move Ghastly into a new house. That's my objective right now. That's the thing I need to not lose sight of, is I'm moving Ghastly into a new house. Iron. Cyndaquil. Incompetent Hero says, I keep losing track of my small plans, so I just keep a big golden mine for each area and chip away while getting distracted. Yeah, that's the thing I'm having to remember, is what is my big plan. Okay, that's a new one we know how to do now. The iron is to make the house. We're gonna go get Tink, and then we're just gonna chill for a minute until it's time to get the iron and then make the house and then move the Ghastly. Where's Tink off to? Oh, there you are. Chill for a moment while I check if there's any news things I need to be paying attention to. What has been happening in the gaming world? Capcom promises that generative AI assets won't be a part of its games anytime soon, presumably after all the backlash about DLSS 5 and how Grace's face looked. Gen AI will, however, be making its way into Dragon Quest X with a ChatGPT slime companion. Peter Molyneux's showing off his new game that isn't yet released. He's once again promoting a game that isn't finished. That thing that he said in an interview to me he was never going to do again. Masters of Albion... I'm reading Eurogamer's headline. After a 45-minute long demo, Peter Molyneux's Masters of Albion looks to have everything I love about those Bullfrog and Lionhead classics, but the skepticism is hard to shake. Let's see, how did Eurogamer finish this off? I would genuinely love to see this work, partly for entirely selfish reasons. If this truly is Molyneux's last game, as he suggested to Eurogamer not too long ago, I would never believe a thing he says. It would be nice to see him go out on a high. We'll see. Echo says, I was rewatching Video Game High School last night, and the funniest part in all 3 seasons is, who sold you that load of Molyneux? Haha. It's weird when Peter Molyneuxing is considered good news by comparison. I want him to be able to release a thing that's good. No part of me wishes ill against that man. But having had the opportunity to interview him in person 3 times in my career, I do not believe a word that man says. He is very genuinely, he's incredibly charismatic in the kind of way that makes you want to believe him, even when you know that all the evidence suggests you should do otherwise. Like, even when there's no world in which you should believe him, like, you kind of wanna. That is his superpower. He's very good at playing sincerity. I every now and then do look back on my interviews with that man. He is by far the most interesting man I've ever interviewed in terms of being a memorable interview subject. He's right up there with who was the head of Oculus? Palmer Luckey? Palmer Luckey, when he was in charge of Oculus, I sat down to interview him for The Guardian, I think it was, at Oculus's conference. They had some it was some Unity Oculus conference thing. No, it wasn't Oculus. It was Unity. It was Unity's event. And the person I was interviewing for The Guardian was sat across the table from me, and he very obviously, with a big flourish, opened a dossier about me in front of me as like a power move right at the start of the interview, and I was like, oh, hello. Let me find, who was it? John Riccatello, that's who it was. That was a good interview. Yes, this was when I grilled John Riccatello about the fact that, like, in short, do you think the reason that Unity has an image problem and that people associate Unity games as being bad games is because of the fact that only games made in the free version of Unity show the Made in Unity logo, and games with a high production budget don't have to show that splash screen? And if so, do you have any thoughts about changing that? Because, like, it sure seems like Made in Unity is only ever going to be associated with the worst Unity project and never with the biggest successes. How do you fight that image battle? That's basically the whole thing. I got flown out to Amsterdam, and, like, I asked other questions, but that was at the heart of, like... That was the whole reason The Guardian sent me out, was to go have this man open a dossier in front of me to try and scare me, and then I was like, yeah, but like, how are you going to fix the fact that you're the cause of your own image problem? Okay, that's going to do for now. Let's fly over to Pallet Town. Actually, I lied. I have a third game in my, a third interview in my favourite interviews I've ever done. It was the one with Mike Bithell for Destructoid, for Laura's Gaming Butts, that ultimately ended up in Things I Learned from Mario's Butt, in which Mike Bithell talks for a good 45 minutes, completely deadpan, about how the plot of Thomas Was Alone is actually secretly entirely about butts. How all of the symbolism in the game is butt symbolism. Okay, I'm gonna need to write you and 3 others. Right, you. It's, Typhlosion. And... who's about? Jolteon. Ah, congrats on the Slay the Spire devs for making the Godot switch and having it work out for them. Come on, Typhlosion, get over here, buddy. How long is this going to take to build? After the stream finishes. I'm going to need to finish this tonight, though, because otherwise I'm going to forget that I need to move this ghastly. Oh, who's flying over? Oh, there they are. Hey, Ho-Oh. I'll eventually get you in my Pokedex. Oh, can I? Hey, look at you, buddy. There's a Driflim. Hey, yeah, I got you some toys. How about that? Yeah, buddy. You can move into town. Have I unlocked any new areas? I've unlocked all of the main areas now. have one more look up the top. See if we got anything up here. I've been making myself some new little ponds and rivers around here. Nothing that's like particularly important or exciting, but I turned this altar into a little pond structure. I think over this next island over here I made one as well. Been trying to just lightly terraform the environment. That's what I was gonna look at. Oh yes, I did the same with this altar. I turned it into a river that sort of came all along down here and then turned into a little waterfall down to the ocean. The whole little river and series of waterfalls down into the sea, which I thought was nice. I'm just slowly bringing a little bit of life back to the areas. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle indeed. We've done good on new species today. How many species are we up to? 241. Okay, yeah, we're progressing. That 250 number's getting closer and closer. What are my other tasks here? Grow lots of veggies, build stuff. I'm working on buildings. Okay, let's get more buildings going, actually. Do I have more? Oh, I would like a nice windmill somewhere. Just, not even for the function, just for the aesthetic. Pink and Persian. Oh, Echo says that Molyneux talk reminded me of the Rock Paper Shotgun interview. Just speed reread it and forgot how brutal it was. The thing about it is it's not an interview. It is someone just kind of bullying an interview subject in a way that's like... You don't really learn anything from going to an interview subject and just going, yeah, but you're a habitual liar, though. You're a chronic liar. You're a habitual liar. You're an instinctual liar. You lie without even thinking about it. You're a liar. You're a liar. Big fat liar. Big liar. Like, you don't really get anything out of the subject for that. It's cathartic for the interviewer, but it's like, it's not... It opened the door for my interview. My interview would not have been as effective as it was if not for, to my understanding, I interviewed Molyneux literally, I'm going to say like 2-3 minutes after the RPS interview ended. God, I want to reread that. Oh yes, do you think you're a pathological liar? Molyneux gets 3 words into his response before John Walker interrupts him to go, well, I know it's a harsh question, but it seems an important question to ask because there seem to be a lot of lies piling up. Reading it, John Walker, a lot of it feels like someone who has been a while in games journalism but has never made a game themselves, trying to argue game development realities in an interview where, like, that's 100% not the thing you should be asking about. Because he keeps trying to get Molyneux on, like, yeah, but you earned more than you needed to. Why did you not have enough? Well, okay, well, sometimes projects go over budget. Well, yeah, but you've been making games for 30 years. You should know that. You should know that. It's like, yes, I know enough to know that it's basically impossible to know from the outset what a project like this is actually going to ultimately cost. So you lied. No, I did my best estimate and it didn't quite work out. So you lied. It's a weird interview. Because, like, I think there's a way you can push him. Like, you don't push him on the game development stuff. You go, ultimately, is it not true that you have promised so many things you have never delivered on? Do you think it is fair that there are people who view you as a pathological liar? Like, yeah, as Echo says, Molyneux definitely needed to be called out on his shit, but the interviewer was very clearly just trying to provoke some kind of tabloid-esque reaction. The John Walker, the interviewer, was very clearly trying to get... He was trying to position himself as, like, the way that Stephen Totilo is seen now, over at Bloomberg, as, like, a hard-hitting, no-nonsense, gets to the heart of the matters, real journalist. But he did so in a way that's, like... It felt like John personally had an axe to grind and was a bit pissed off and was, like, looking... He was looking to bully a specific phrase out of Molyneux. Which... The fact that my interview did as well as it did, I think, goes to show, like... If you can get a person to just, like... You don't shout at them. You quietly guilt them into admitting their own patheticness gets you further. I think John might have dropped a lot of money on the Goddess Kickstarter. If he did, he probably should have disclosed that, because, you know... I'm not the kind of person that says you shouldn't back projects on Kickstarter if you're a critic, but if you've financially invested enough in a Kickstarter for a game that it's impacting your ability to be neutral in an interview context, either don't take that project or disclose it. Go, hey, if I seem pissed off at Molyneux in this interview, it's because I am. I still remember, I've talked about this story before, but I remember the night of that interview. I caught wind that the Molyneux interviews were happening. Like, I didn't find out in advance. I heard while they were happening. This was, I think, day 2 of Molyneux interviews, and someone mentioned in my DMs that, like, oh, I just got done interviewing Molyneux. It's, you know, he's finally ready to talk about all the God of Gods stuff. And I went, fuck, okay. So I emailed I emailed the PR company and got, like, can he squeeze me in for 10 minutes at the end of the day? And I didn't have a home for the interview at this point. And I got a yes. So I had to, like, drop everything to do this interview. And I didn't know the context that he'd just had the John Walker interview. But he comes on the call and you can hear he's, like, just had to compose himself from having had a little cry off mic. And I did the interview, and I got his, like, "I'm never talking to the press again after this" quote, and I was like, oh shit, I've got something here. Like, it wasn't until a day or two later that I, like, fully had the context of what had gone on. But I knew what I had was going to be big. I emailed Keith Stewart at The Guardian that evening, and I went, Keith, I think I've got a bombshell on my hands. It's gonna be gold dust, but you want to be the first one to run it before anyone else beats you to the punch. Are you free tonight to talk about a pitch to potentially run as early as 8 or 9 a.m. tomorrow morning? Let me read you the quotes. Let me tell you what I got. Are you in? And I hadn't transcribed the whole thing even, but I just, like, I gave him the gist and I sent him the 2 or 3 quotes I'd had time to transcribe. This is like 9 o'clock in the evening. Yeah, look, I don't want to feel bad for him, but it was a whole thing. But yeah, it was like 9 o'clock at night, and Keith looks over my stuff and goes, yeah, I want in on this, and you're right. Because I'd caught wind that at least 1 or 2 other people at outlets were planning on running their stories at 9 a.m. So I was like, if we can get this out at 8 a.m. Echo says, I did notice the RPS interview. They put in a snarky footnote saying Peter did 2 more interviews after saying he wasn't speaking to the press during this interview. Like, yeah, he had appointments booked. Yeah, he said the same in mine, but he did interviews after mine. And I was like, I get it. It is how it is. But yeah, I had to get a draft to Keith by 11 p.m, so I had 2 hours to crack out a draft. For Keith to look over, and then, like, 6 a.m. I had to be back up to look over to go back and forth over the last versions and get it up. We got it up by 8 a.m. I think we beat RPS by about an hour. Let's have a look. When did that RPS one go up in the end? Nah, no time on it. I think we beat RPS by an hour. I was very proud of that. It's back when Facebook had a trending news section that wasn't specific to your algorithm. It was just generally what is the news story that Facebook wants people to read. I remember getting a phone call from my mum being like, I logged into Facebook, and the top news story on Facebook is you. I'm like, yeah, that's me. That was me. No, the interview where I truly got snarky at Molyneux was, I was doing a piece about, like, the Guildford game development scene, and he agreed to an interview. In his words, on the understanding that we don't talk about any new projects, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. And then he started trying to tease his new project at me that wasn't ready to talk about, but it was so amazing, and he had all these secrets he wanted to tell me about it. And then the following morning, I caught wind he was going to be announcing a round of previews for it. I was like, oh, okay. So the Molyneux who hypes up his games before they're ready to release is still here. Oh, Molyneux. Let me find that quote. I want to find that one. Here it was. As I was leaving, he offered me a sneak peek at his upcoming project, Legacy, which he's previously announced the title but no details. All off the record, naturally. I was excited to see it. Also wondered why he showed me it, after all that talk about staying away from the hype cycle. The day after returning to Guildford, my editor received an email about the announcement of Molyneux's next project. Now I know why Molyneux agreed to meet me. Now I know why he showed me the game. Now I know why the studio okayed an interior shot with the new game's logo in it, and separately verified that it wouldn't be releasing until later in the year. And now I know Molyneux is, later today, going to be talking about Legacy, once again months before it's released. Sometimes it's hard to know what to believe with Molyneux. You know, I wasn't overly snarky, but I was like, look, in the interview he told me, he was like, no, actually, it's been very good for me not to hype my products before they're ready. And then it's the fact that he insisted to me that this wasn't a interview to prep for the hype cycle for an upcoming game. And then literally a day later he was announcing stuff. I was like, oh, okay. Okay, Petey. Engu Gemini says, I think this game is going to be a big obstacle when it comes to Game of the Year stuff. This is a tough thing to compete with. I'm very interested to see if this is going to stick around in Game of the Year conversations. What has come out this year and what is coming out? 2026 video games. Let me have a look. What is this going to be up against? I mean, this is probably the year that GTA 6 releases, so, like, I don't think this beats GTA 6. Let's see. Do I think this comes into a top 5 to get nominated for Game of the Year? Let's have a look. What's released so far this year? I mean, for me personally, I kind of agree, but, welcome Raiders! Hello everyone, I'm Laura, I'm a variety streamer here on Twitch. We're playing Pokopia, it's cozy, it's Pokemon. Someone suggested that Pokopia might be a Game of the Year contender, and I'm just looking at what's released so far this year, and what is releasing this year, to have a think about what this might be up against in Game of the Year conversations. Sorry, I'm scrolling through looking for things that have released so far this year. Eugenics, I don't think, is in that conversation. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at now. I'm looking at what other games have been released so far this year. Star Trek Voyager, Into the Unknown, nope. That's February. Resident Evil Requiem is going to be in that list. We say maybe Pokopia. Slay the Spire 2, potentially. Could be in that realm. Oh, Forza Horizon 6 is coming soon. That's probably going to be in that conversation. Life is Strange Reunion, I don't think we see in that combo. Skimming through. I don't know if Eugenics is the indie pick this year. Tomodachi Life, I don't think gets in that conversation. Vampire Crawlers don't think end up in that conversation. Pragmata could. I don't think it does, but Pragmata could be in that conversation. Saros, the Housemarque game, could be. 007 First Light might be in that conversation. Tough to know at this point. Dench Attack, that's going to be on my Game of the Year list, but I don't think overall Game of the Year, I don't think it... There's no world it sees a nod. Marvel took on Fighting Souls. Marvel's Wolverine is a big contender. There we go. Thank you for building me this little tower. Yeah, a Pokopia, I think a lot of people are going to push for this to be in the conversation, and I would love to see this be in the Game of the Year conversation. It's such a not the typical Game of the Year nominee that I would genuinely love to see it get some attention. What else is releasing this year? I'm skimming through as quickly as I can. Just because I want to know what's coming. Ooh, Control Resonance coming this year. That I'm looking forward to. Deltarune Chapter 5 seems like it's going to be this year. Yeah, Forza Horizon 6. Oh, there's a Fire Emblem this year. Fate's Weave. Is there anything that seems like it's going to be like the cult thing that sneaks in and does well? Ooh, Lords of the Fallen 2 is this year. Probably not Game of the Year material, but I'm excited about it. No Straight Roads 2 I'm very excited about. Again, not a Game of the Year contender for the average audience. Pokemon Champions. I'm excited for Pokemon Champions. Again, not for Game of the Year, but very excited for Pokemon Champions. Silent Hill Townfall, very curious about. Well, most of the way through alphabetically. S. Oh, the Warhammer Survivors. I'm very curious about. Witchbrook as well. Okay, let's do one more look around the various places that I need to look for if anything has spawned in. This soundtrack's so lovely. Oh, Wally, we're so sleepy already. Oh, PV... oh, sorry. EVKK. I think it's going to be niche, but I think the people who love it are going to absolutely go to bat for that game. I think it's going to have a very diehard audience. Oh, hey, it's Mew hanging out. Hey, buddy. Playing tag with Illumies. I'm excited for the current Dice Funk season to come to its conclusion, Terra. Also, fun fact, Space Train season might be a little sooner than expected on Dice Funk. You might be getting an entire season of Laura DM'd Dice Funk. Maybe a year from now, maybe this time next year, you might be getting Laura's Time Loop Space Train Dice Funk. Oh yeah, if they either did DLC or a sequel for this, I think it would have no trouble getting people on board. Has my Pokemon spawned in over here yet? Oh yes, there's a new Plague Tale this year, you're right. I think that is definitely one to keep eyes open for. There's another Moomin game this year. Oh. Okay, the new spawns here. yes, I need to sit down and start properly planning Space Train Dice Funk season. Oh, I still need to finish patching in some holes in the SSN bridge, but I'm real happy it exists. Even with its couple of bits I need to fix. Yes, I am working on the Dice Funk season that can probably be best described as... how would I describe it? Space Train plus Season 3 of Dice Funk plus Majora's Mask. It is a bottle setting, self-contained setting that has a very Majora's Mask approach to being stuck in a 3-day time loop. Galaxy Express 999, that is not what I am familiar with. Let me have a look. Oh, this! I am aware of it, I have never seen it, but it seems like a thing I should check out. I do like me some space trains. So space train anime would probably be right up my alley. Check this one more spot over here, and then we're probably going to wrap up for tonight. Thank you everyone for coming along. This has been a lovely chill stream. I will be back on Wednesday and Friday of this week, streaming again. Maybe more Pokopia, maybe something else, we'll see. See where the energy takes me. I hope you have enjoyed the day today. Hope you enjoyed the stream. I will be back very soon. I'm working out whether I'm going to be around if I'm going to stream that partner showcase that Xbox is doing on Thursday. It's largely going to be third-party games, but can I be bothered to talk about Microsoft's genocidal bullshit? We'll see what energy, what vibe I'm in. We might stream that showcase if I have it in me to speed read the BDS Microsoft page a bunch during it.